If you want to see a man stiffen up and stand up straight, just ask him to go to a doctor. And what you have here is our buddy with lifting up his horse, saying, nothing is wrong with me. And as soon as you say to men, go to a doctor, the first thing they do is, I'm fine. Nothing wrong with me. I feel great. I don't, and these are sort of I would say, the top excuses for men. I don't have time to go to a doctor. How many women have heard that in the room? I won't ask you to raise your hand, but you have. How many of you have heard your husband say, I don't need a doctor. I don't spend money that way. I can tough it out. And we have some examples here in our own church of people who have tried to tough things out. Didn't go so well. But we tend to ignore that type of thing. We try to ignore it and say, I can tough this disease out. I don't need help. And this is not just in prostate areas, it's all of men's health. I don't need help. And the reason they say I don't need help is because I don't want to appear to be weak. Then we have the more advanced cases. If you look carefully, you'll see our buddy hiding in the corner over here in the weeds. And his case, and I've talked to many doctors about it, these guys generally have an advanced case of I fear the finger, and I'll leave it at that, all right? They don't want to go for a prostate examination. Many of them will say doctors don't do anything, and many, many men will say, look, I don't need to hear bad news. They don't want to go in. So if I hide and if I don't ask questions, it's going to be fine for me. And that's not really the case. I coined a phrase called suicide by doctor. I have talked with hundreds of men. I've talked with hundreds, probably thousands of men. I've talked to doctors about it. And I've talked to men who have been diagnosed with some advanced cases of cancer. And I've said to them, well, when did you first notice that you were having these issues? And they'd say, well, I noticed this about 5 or 6 years ago. Okay, what did you do about it? Did you tell the doctor? No, I didn't want to bother him. I didn't want to say anything about it. I figured it would pass. And you have that constant theme with men all the time. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to talk to the doctor about it. So if you're going in and you're not talking about how you're feeling, whether it's your chest, your lungs, or whatever it might be, or bedroom issues, what you're going to find is it's suicide by doctor. We know about suicide by police officer, where people go out and they try to get themselves shot. Same thing happens with men going to the doctors. They want to get in, they want to get out. As soon as they sit down in the doctor's office, they're looking, saying, where's the exit? And as soon as the doctor says, as he did with me, all of your numbers are fine. You're in the normal range. What was my reaction? Right out the door. Thank you so much. I don't want to know anything more. And the men here, think about it yourselves. Are you doing that yourselves and to yourselves? So then I looked a little bit further, and here's some interesting things. First of all, we've all heard about Susan G. Komen, right? And we know, and the statistics are this, there are 3 million women in the United States today living with breast cancer. That's a large number of women. Pink is probably on everything. We have football players with pink socks on. We have pink garbage cans. Anything that you put a pink ribbon on or paint pink, we all now talk about breast cancer. Now, it wasn't before Susan G. Komen, women didn't talk about breasts. They didn't talk about lumps in breasts. That was a forbidden topic. And now what are they doing? It's everywhere, all right? Let's look at the number on the side, 87%. So the statistics say that 87 to 92% of women know what to look for breast cancer. And it's all due to Susan G. Komen. They've been educated to be aware. 30 to 40,000 women each year die from breast cancer. And I'm going to ask you to remember that number. 30 to 40,000 women die from breast cancer. Here's the statistics on men. 85% of men in this country are totally unaware of the need to go to a doctor. 65% of men in this country have never been to a doctor, and all claim, I feel fine. There's nothing wrong with me. I don't need to go. 60 to 80 million men in the United States, which is half of the US population of men, have prostatitis.